So let us start sharing the screen. And yeah, we're good. So welcome to building SecOps platform on Elasticsearch using Kubernetes talk. I'm Arvind, and we have Haran today here. We will not waste a lot of time because there is only 2 hours, and I guess you will be able to accomplish everything. I would say this is not a full-fledged workshop, to be honest, because any security workshop will take at least 4 hours or like more. But in the virtual scenario, I guess like we'll not be able to spend a lot of time on the computer continuously and doing various tasks. We have more trainings and all that you could take out later, like free trainings as well, so that you could simulate, get things, etc. But we will get started, initiate you into this process, and then like we will give you some information, we will give you the lab details, and then like you could get started. So yeah, I told about that. And then the important thing we'll be learning is like how do you build this particular platform onto a Kubernetes Elasticsearch, and then on top of it the security solution. So we will be seeing 4 different labs today. And then each lab we will be covering something different, and there will be end goal like building a cluster, and then like building walking through the Kibana security, and then ingesting data, and then like using security event data, and then using security analysis. We'll also at the end see what we have learned today and what else you could learn going forward, and what are the use cases you could build, etc. So I want to specifically say that we are not talking about container security or Kubernetes security itself. Like we are not talking that. We are just talking security in general, and from any VM or any laptop or any OS bundle, etc. So we are not specifically looking at Kubernetes per se, but we are building this on Kubernetes as a platform. So running this on a Kubernetes platform. So that's what our goal is. So this is the lab environment. Thanks, Haran, for creating it. I completely forgot. And the lab content that is there, I would put this one in the chat as well, so that you are all aware. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. So don't hesitate. So you could, yeah, thank you, Haran. You could go to the workshop. I will also go to the workshop. So this is an environment that we are using called Strigo. So what basically Strigo does is it will spin up the information. It will spin up the environment for you, and then you could practice, build your labs there. Simply, that's it. Nothing more than that. Okay, so so it is a simple thing, but we needed the token, Haran. Like I think you missed putting that token. Yeah, if you could put the token in the classroom, that would be good. So you will each of us will get a token, and one single token, and then like you could join the thing. Only thing you need to have is like you need to have the what do you call the okay, the token is here. You need to have the account into this particular thing. Okay, Windows is ready. So everyone, when you join this strigo.com, the lab environment, you click on the lab, my lab. On the left side, you will see my lab. Don't click on the presenter screen. Presenter screen will be there. That you forget. Don't worry about it. But click on the my lab. That is where your machines will be there. You have a Kubernetes machine. You have a CentOS machine running. You also will have a Windows machine picking up. Okay. So for now, you just click on the lab and wait for the workstation and let it boot up. And by the time we will come to the labs, we'll do some theory and we'll come to the labs. And then you will be able to like get to know about all of the stuff. I hope you're all with me, and you're all able to understand what I'm trying to explain. So if you have any questions, please feel free to like please feel free to like kind of like share your this thing, etc. So any questions?
Sure. Yeah, Arvind. So I just wanted to add please try to access the workshop environment with the passcode. Let us know if you have any errors. Give it a time for it to get prepared. As Arvind said, click on My Lab, and Give it a time. And then also you have the lab content. The deck which Aravind is showing is already available for you. So try to access that and let us know if it is not accessible. Yeah. So maybe let's give like 5 minutes for everyone to access and let us know if you have any issues.
So, folks, one thing that I want to tell you specifically is like because of the virtual nature of the workshop, we will have problems. If you have any concerns or like anything, you can unmute yourself and talk. That's why the smaller group. You could also write in the chat. You need to tell us or raise hand if that is possibility, I guess. So yeah, so please let us know so that otherwise we will not be able to know what is happening in that lab. Okay, great. Feel free, and stop us in between. This is definitely not a class, and we want to like have mutual interaction. Great.
So and just talking about the lab, right? So Aravind, if you wanted to drop down that Kubernetes thing, if you see, we have just to give you about the agenda. No, the Strigo, inside the Strigo, if you wanted to drop down that Kubernetes setting, I mean this one.
PS mode?
No, the missions, VM missions.
Okay.
The drop down arrow. Yeah. So what we did is we have created a Kubernetes mission where you would be installing the Docker, the Kubernetes, and as well as the Elasticsearch and Kibana. And then to give some data to those Elasticsearch instance, we have a CentOS mission and a Windows mission. So what we are going to do is we are going to install some data ingestion techniques in Elastic, like beats, audit beat inside CentOS mission. And then in Windows mission, that's where we are going to play around, right? Like we are going to install Sysmon, we are going to install Winlog beat that automatically collects all the Windows events, Sysmon events, and then streams to the Elasticsearch environment, which you built inside the Kubernetes. So that's the whole overview of the environment. Once the data is getting streamed inside the Elasticsearch, which you built, so everybody will have their own accessed, own built Elasticsearch, right? So you'll have your own Elasticsearch in Kibana. To understand the mission configuration, you can click on that settings button, and then you'll get all the mission infos, right? So, so this, if possible, save it, right? Like the public IP, DNS. So save these things. This is what you will be configuring inside your beats configuration, like CentOS and Windows. Everything is documented. We are going to go through one by one slowly. So do not worry. I'm just giving you an overview. Once the data gets streamed, we are going to detonate some mock malwares. We are going to detonate an APT34 mock malware, which will do some kind of suspicious things using PowerShell. And then we are going to hunt and investigate that inside Elastic Security. So we are going to have a complete security operations. And if needed, we can also have some case management workflows and other things.
Yep.
So that's cool, right? So that's what we are going to do it today. So back to you, Aravind.
Thank you. So please let us know, keep chatting to us or unmute yourself and like talk to us. That would really help us, stuff. So like Haran said, like I have installed Kubernetes as well and Docker and everything. You just need to kickstart stuff and install the stuff. So we are making it as low as benchmark so that you will learn here and then take back to your work and do more there actually. So that's the goal. So, okay. So basically, yeah, I think Haran told about all of this. I showed you. So, okay. So basically, I guess like many people might know about Elasticsearch, it being a search engine, or if you are coming from ops world, you might be knowing about Elasticsearch as a log analytical engine, observability, metrics, traces, that this and all. But Elasticsearch also has other components which you also know, like Kibana, which is a visualizer, Logstash, which does extract, transform, and load. All of these are free and open tools. That means you could download it and run it without paying anybody. And there is nothing like a bar that we don't even collect emails of people who are downloading the stuff. So next to that, you have Beats and which is like a data shipper, which does multiple stuff. There is new things coming up here. We'll discuss at the end of the session how Beats is going to change, how data ingestion is going to change, but then also like we also have the code tracing stuff. Like if you have like application tracing solution, which is like APM. So we're going to not talk about Logstash and APM today. We're going to more focus on these three areas, Elasticsearch, Kibana, and Beats. We're going to also like give some information about the overall direction of how it is going and how it is getting to change. Now, over a period of time, the same stack is nurtured or like moved into multiple different apps. In product language, if I say it is solution, so that like if you go to like observability, there is logs, metrics, and it's like an app that you could use internally and like detect, investigate, and look at stuff. If you are an SRE, is some things like this would help. And then if you are a security person, then you can get into the security related functionality. Similarly, as a search engine, you could create search, manage search, and relevance, etc. So Elastic Security is not relatively new. It's been there for quite some time. But we have, I guess, we have got this company called Endgame several, I mean, like 1.5 or 2 years back, and then like we joined forces with them, and then they started building on top of the existing SIM as a SecOps platform. And actually, it is more than SecOps. We are trying to bring in everything. You also see AppSec workflows also come into display, which we'll see in the detection rules in a minute. So that if you have applications running in Kubernetes kind of environment, you'll still be able to detect, find out, and enable these OWASP kind of rules to help hunt threats, etc. So all of this is there. So that's what we are trying to do. So I guess I'm going to do some basics for people who are completely not knowing, not knowing Elasticsearch. But then if you have any questions at this point of time, please let me know. I guess I see 2 questions already. Okay, so I'll take one by one. So because I think I don't want to keep it unanswered unless we are covering that in the upcoming slides. So I'll just talk about that question. So if you have questions, please post, and we will stop and take the questions so that you don't get bored. So saying like I noticed in some projects and blogs others use Fluentd instead of Beats. Is there a reason for that? What is the advantages, disadvantages? So basically, Beats is a data shipper, and Fluentd is also a data shipper. But Fluentd is not owned by Elastic, and Fluentd is a CNCF project. And Fluentd also is a general purpose data aggregator and data shipper. Fluentd is a data aggregator, just like a bit of like Logstash, but now also you have FluentBit, etc., to do something which is very similar to Beats. Now that's why I'm telling there's overall going to be a change in how entire thing is looking like, and how you need to configure, how you need to do stuff with something called Elastic Agent and Fleet Server. But other than that, but if I have to tell you that why people use Fluentd, they think that it gives you better performance, etc. Actually, they don't use Fluentd instead of Beats. They use Fluentd instead of Logstash. That's why EFK stack is very popular than ELK. I mean, people think that, okay, I would use EFK than ELK. So each having its own advantages and disadvantages. But if I have to tell you like one specific thing, using Beats, you will be able to do a lot of things that the apps can understand in the Kibana and Elasticsearch. That helps you to do whatever Harun is telling, the threat hunting and correlations and a lot of these very easily. So I won't say it won't scale. You just need to tune some stuff, and then it will scale. We have people who are using more than a lakh of Beats in their infrastructure, and it will still work. So yeah, that is one question. I hope I have answered. If not, I'm happy to we are happy to share our socials, and then you can DM us and we could answer there as well. Apart from that, Nikunj has one more question, what is the difference between Elasticsearch and Elastic Enterprise Search? Enterprise Search is not a paid or like something like that. It's also a free product. It contains three things as well. So Enterprise Search is primarily for people who are building search solutions, and on top of Elasticsearch. See, Elasticsearch is this big beast, right? It is a big clay that you could mold into different shapes. So some people use it as security solution, some people use it as a observability solution, log analytics engine. Everyone uses it different way. So for search people, so now there are molded search engines. I guess you should definitely go and look at app search or site search, which gives you much better idea, actually. So I hope I answered that, Nikunj. So I just want to ask this question to others. If you how many of you are new to Elasticsearch? like you could just say +1 or something like that. Like this, +1. You could write, how many of you are new to Elasticsearch? Okay. Okay, great. I think at around 40% of the people. How many of you like have experience, like, you know, yeah, okay, fine. Okay, both know some theory. So I'm going to cover a bit of theory, not so much. Haven't worked on it for a long time. Yes, obviously, yes, definitely. So basically, I'm going to cover some theory, and then thereby, like, we will be able to go and look into things. So you will understand what's happening. So we are definitely going to run everything on Kubernetes, and like, you know, and ship data, so that you will have an idea of how to build this platform on Kubernetes. So basically, Elasticsearch is a distributed system. You have multiple nodes. So nodes can be containers, VMs, or you know, bare metal machines in your data center, whatever it might be. So nodes communicate with each other and form this cluster. So say, for example, but each node runs Elasticsearch instance, and instance of Elasticsearch, and then you could and then in under the same subnet it forms a networking actually. So if you are building by your own in your laptop, you just need to give different like, you know, what you call different data directories, and then under the same laptop you can have multiple multi-node Elasticsearch cluster. You can do that using the command line, 3 command line instances. In cloud or somewhere else, you could use containers, you could use GKE kind of platforms, you could use EC2, you could use anything. People do multiple varieties of things. So how does this data go into Elasticsearch? In a high level way, you have log events, you have audit events, you have content from different stuff. All of these goes into something called indices. Index, actually, that's the primary thing. Just like table in your SQL stuff, you have index, and then like your index is spread across multiple nodes, like the nodes that we show. If you have only one node, it will reside here, but if you have multiple nodes, it will spread across. And index also contains charts and etc., that we are not going to discuss today. But then these indexes will be responsible for giving you results. Actually, when you ask queries, from these indexes you will get, just like your table or a collection in MongoDB or any other NoSQL concept. Indexes will do it, because Elasticsearch is a search engine. It has an index action. So I guess you are clear with it. If you have any questions on my slides, again, please ask. Like, yeah, each index will have shards, and shards are like the physical units. These are like buckets. So if I have to tell you, say if you have 1 GB of data, and then like you go ahead and then like you go ahead and create an instance, an index, and then the shards can be okay. I think something else. So basically what happens is you could the shards will split the data into 4 chunks based on your configuration, and it will move to multiple nodes. Like, you know, this block can be here, this block can be here, this block can be here, etc. So yeah, so that is the overall stuff actually here. So why Elastic for security? Specifically, so as I said, Elastic is a search engine primarily. So security professionals, or if you want to become a security professional, I'll tell you the popular thing, because I came from security world. I worked at McAfee previously, and there is a huge pile of data. And if you want to run a query, what happens is you have to go for a coffee and come back, or like and because the systems are I don't say archaic, but they are a bit old, and they haven't seen the new latest generation techniques and tools. That's why the attackers are getting more and more like, you know, intelligent, and they're able to wither attacks and go into this very compromising into various systems. There are security companies whose infrastructure is affected by ransomware. And then you could imagine like how attackers are so intelligent. So search engines help you to look into this data much easily, and help you to like kind of detect the threats easily. And then like, because Elasticsearch is programmable in nature, you could interact with multiple threat intelligence feeds, like and you could also like run it on any cloud. Like someone was asking which CSI provider do you prefer for Elastic on Kubernetes? I guess you are asking about cloud service provider. If I'm not wrong, please correct me, Shashank. So basically, you could use any cloud. We don't have any cloud preference, etc. You could use AWS, you could use GKE or like on Google Cloud, or you could use Azure. There is no difference. So okay, container storage. Yeah, I'm like, see, I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that definitely. So you could use different clouds. And regarding storage, we recommend you to use any place, but we recommend use persistent SSDs actually. So if you are using SSDs, that would be better. So there are different types of storage classes in each cloud service provider. Like Azure says something, premium storage. GCP has a different type of SSD disk, and obviously AWS has EBS and a lot of stuff. So always choose the that particular stuff, and then that would be like helpful to do stuff. But make sure that you do that. Otherwise, like, you know, you might have, when you are scaling the cluster, that would be a problem for you. Okay, so yeah, persistent storage and, like, you know, obviously SSDs. So data ingestion, you could obviously like I said, Beats or Elastic Agent to ship it from multiple different systems. In fact, actually, the laptop that I am currently running runs an Elastic Agent and Elastic Endpoint, through which my laptop is protected and the data is being harvested from my laptop. It uses the Elastic Endpoint and then ships the data to Elasticsearch, thereby available for my InfoSec team to see that that someone is not stealing data, like I'm being fished or something like that. Okay, yeah, I have that in the as a diagram. I'm just so in a nutshell, whatever I have told is this thing. You have a cluster, you will have indices have shards have your documents, okay, your security events or your information stuff. So there is one logical flaw in whatever I explained till now. Is like you know, this in this diagram actually. So if you see that I told that both the indices reside here, no, but actually both the indices are spread across the instances actually. So it is not just this instance, it's also spread across. So that's the thing. Now let us quickly get on to the lab one. Enough of talking, and then I'll show you the stuff, and then we will all get to the lab stuff. So we will create a Kubernetes cluster on the I mean, we'll create a Elastic Cloud on Kubernetes cluster on Kubernetes, and then we will kickstart things actually. So I would recommend you to like go to the lab and come to this particular slide, which is the slide number 20. And if you are following, and you could also copy the information, and then yeah, and then like get started. So I am already installing. I have already installed K3s. So you could do kubectl cluster info, which will throw me an error if I'm not wrong. So if I do that, says like permission denied. So because the user that I'm running, I didn't have permissions to run this particular, it's not able to read the kube config. So basically you could kind of like you know, give permissions to it. So let us give it sudo chmod. Okay, chmod. And then, yeah, obviously 644 I gave, but you could also give, because it's a learning environment, you could also give like say 777, but make sure that you do it for production. This is not for production. I want to tell you again, this is definitely not for production. You're just learning here. You need to do some more settings to get into a proper production cluster, but this is where you could learn and like get started. So you have changed it. Now let us run the previous command and see if there is a cluster running. Yes, there is a Kubernetes cluster running and things are ready to get deployed. So Elasticsearch is a distributed system, and then you have say like, you know, like a lot of moving parts and many people to run it on Docker or without any orchestration. It's a bit difficult to run that. So that's why Kubernetes also has an operator SDK through which you can use that to run general purpose applications like Elasticsearch, MongoDB, Redis, Kafka, etc. So all these are general purpose applications that you run right in your infrastructure. So basically you have this operator which helps you to do run this like Elasticsearch easily. So it installs a bunch of you know, controllers it installs a bunch of like resources so that the Elasticsearch becomes native to Kubernetes. So that means like you just how you do kubectl get nodes, kubectl get pods, kubectl get services, deployments, etc. Similar way you do that same thing. So end of the day, for your user, it is still an Elasticsearch. For the operator, for the person who is running this stuff, it's just Elasticsearch is running on a Kubernetes. So I'm just gonna install this. So you might see some warnings here, but that is because like we are running an advanced version of cluster. If you are running 1.16 in between 1.16 Kubernetes or 1.10, you wouldn't see this warning, but these are like the beta APIs that got into GA in 1.122. So yeah, so it just installed the operator here, and you are ready to deploy Elasticsearch. Okay, how to deploy Kubernetes? Can you provide the commands? So there are multiple ways, and yeah, exactly. I'm using K3s only. So there are multiple ways, and there are multiple distros. There is Minikube for this thing. There is KDA. There is K3s, and there is the real kube admin. You could go and install the plain vanilla Kubernetes, and there are like the GKEs, AKS. You could use the managed service as well. Yeah, you could also try micro-K8s. Yeah, exactly. So you could do that as well. So here I'm just trying to reduce the bar so that you don't need to install Kubernetes. That itself is like a big thing for a lot of people, and I don't want to do that, give that trouble to you. So we're gonna look at the operator logs here. So see that how the operator installed are doing. So like as you see that it is talking to Elastic, it's talking to the Kubernetes APIs. It has registered a lot of stuff, and so far I don't see any major errors. All are info, and so far everything is good. So that means like it is ready to deploy. So what it is doing is it installed some code. Think like this: it installed a plugin on top of Kubernetes, and which would understand, like say, Elasticsearch is a native resource, like just like how you see kubectl get pods, etc. Similar way you could do that. So I'll just increase my font size also so that you will be able to see this. I hope you are able to see that. If you are not able to see my screen, please let me know. So if you click on kubectl get pods, nothing is working. I guess all the no resources are running. So let us quickly deploy Elasticsearch here, and then we'll go ahead from there. Okay, so this is the same thing that Haran has given as a log. If you are not following me, and if you're going on your own, so this is there. Yeah. So in this lab, you don't need to install Kubernetes. It's already installed. We have spun up a Kubernetes machine for you. And if you want to install by yourself, go to k3s.io. It's from Rancher, and it's very easy to get started. But in this lab, you don't need to do that. So please don't do that. Okay. So it's not needed. Kubernetes is already there. You're building a platform, a SecOps platform on top of Kubernetes. That is the objective of this lab or the stuff. So if you are not working, just see. I'll happy to help. Like once I create Elasticsearch instance, I'm happy to help debug your issue as well. So I'm just going to create the Elasticsearch instance here, and I also explain you in the moment. Yeah. So Elasticsearch instance has been created. It looks so simple, but actually under the hood, it is pulling the container. It is creating this Elasticsearch instance count one. It is also creating a load balancer before it, so that it gets an external IP. Okay, so I'll show you kubectl get Elasticsearch. Okay, so you see that we are not doing kubectl get pods. We are saying kubectl get Elasticsearch. So that is the difference that you see. Why it is why Elasticsearch is becoming a native thing to Kubernetes, and why it is not just like any other pod or any other application. Okay, so that is the difference actually. So you could install Elasticsearch, and you kind of created an Elasticsearch, and you could query that like kubectl get Elasticsearch, get API. I mean, like get APM, get Kibana. You could do all of that. So as you see that the pod is ready, and you could go back and check kubectl get pods. Now I'm just looking at the pods. You see that pod is running. Kubectl get SVC, which is showing the services. It got an IP, of course, the internal one, but it is ready. And yeah, That's it. Like it deploys everything. You could get deployments. No names, no default deployments. You could look into that. You could see all the resources if you type kubectl get -all. So I want you to do this one and let me know. And meanwhile, like I'll come back. I'll clear if you have any questions actually. Yeah, exactly. That's why we executed chmod right here. So you just need to sudo chmod into the stuff, right? The first command. You missed that command. Girish.
Yeah, that was great, Arvind. So yeah, like if you are following Arvind, you can kind of install along with him, or we have documented all these commands and everything. So let us know if you have any questions. Feel free to unmute or put it in the chat. We can go through another demo as well. So in this lab one, we have two parts. One is installing Elasticsearch inside the Kubernetes. So that's what Arvind showed. Once this is finished, we are also going to install and configure Kibana instance that will automatically connect to the internet. So that Kibana is nothing but the UI layer of the Elastic Stack, where you would be analyzing the data, you would be working on security analytics and all those stuffs. So that's what we are going to do as the second part of the lab one. So yeah, please proceed with Elasticsearch cluster installation and let us know if you have any question.
Yeah, if everyone has deployed this thing, please give me a +1. I would go ahead and show you the.
Okay? Yep. So oh, sorry for the overlap. I mean, please go ahead.
No, nothing. I think quite a few people have, but please let me know. 14 people, like we should see more +1s. If you have troubles, ask me, and we are happy to help. Okay, yep. Giri, I think you asked what is the difference between Elasticstack and Elastic Cloud. Elastic Cloud is a managed service offering of the same Elasticstack. So it is like running in the cloud or any cloud that you could choose, and then you could deploy the same stuff. Here we are using Kubernetes. There is a container orchestration system that we use internally, and then we use that to. It's still deployed in the containers, but then it runs on the cloud. Yeah. How to do kubectl get Kibana? We will get to there. Like that is the next step. Yeah, it seems I didn't understand Nikunj. I didn't understand.
Actually, hello, am I audible?
Yes, please.
Yeah, actually, I don't see that like the best CLI. It's just showing this white cursor, blink cursor only, but the so which is bit.
Okay. Let me check that, Nikunj. Yeah.
So we could also see as a attendee, I think like we could also see what you're doing. So through the lab environment, if you get stuck, probably we could see and help you. So through the Strigo environment. So don't worry if you have problems. We could also restart your machines, and you could also restart, but please don't do that. But you could also do all of that by yourself, actually. Okay, so Nikunj will help you. So don't worry about it.
Sure. Thanks.
And we'll get to the next part in a minute. But please, other people, if you have any questions or you're stuck or have doubts, please ask. We can spend time in getting things done, but if you don't understand and we go quickly and installing stuff, you will be lagged and like you will not learn anything. Okay, so Joshua, you have you said like I'm new to Kubernetes operator. Why we are installing operator again and creating the Elastic instance in the next command. So basically, like I said, operator is just a code, a plugin to let Kubernetes understand that let Kubernetes, these are like repositories that you create in your Ubuntu machine or something. Like you install you add the repository to the whole kernel, like the base repository. Whenever you are pulling the a specific package, the Linux will go and check in that repository as well, and if it finds in that repository, it will bring and install. Right, similar way, Kubernetes gets to know through operator what are the various things I need to do to run Elasticsearch. Say, for example, I need to connect, if I run these containers of the same type called Elasticsearch, like I showed here. Here is this one. See, if you see a kind Elasticsearch, and and then like name is quick start. and the version is like 7.1.13.2. And all of this, if this is particular thing, how do I wire two containers? So I could also increase the count to 3 and make a three node container, 3-node Elasticsearch cluster in Kubernetes running in a pod, or I could also set node affinity rules and like spread it across multiple pods, etc., etc. I could do all of that, but we are doing something very basic and simple. And then like we are building Elasticsearch instance on top of like this thing. But the operator is the base that helps you to do all of this thing. Like, you know, it does the TLS encryption. It does get the password as well. So that's what we are going to do. If you stick around, and you will definitely understand like what we are trying to exactly do. So you will also see that kubectl get Elasticsearch will give you this thing. But ideally, you don't do get Elasticsearch for any other thing, right? You don't do this. You get pods. But because we installed operator, this particular thing is happening. Okay. Now, what operator also helps you do is like it will get you the like it will help you to kind of like get the password. It will create an automatically password. So let me go and get that password thing for you. Actually, yeah. So this is okay. So we have watched the changes. It is green. Now let us go and quickly get the password. So the operator helps you to create this like, you know, the security between the nodes and also everything. So if we are getting that into an environment variable, so that you could be able to see it. I'm going very slow, but don't worry. We are happy to help you. So this is the password that Elasticsearch has, and then I'll kind of like see if I could log into my Elasticsearch machine using that password. Okay. So I'll do this thing, Ctrl+C, and open new tab, https://9200. And before I hit enter, I need to copy this, otherwise I not be able to hit enter. It says yes, because we didn't give certificate. You could also create self-signed certificates as well. That is also a possibility. And I'm giving Elastic is the basic user that it will create, and then sign in. You should be able to see this. Okay. Now that you have a single node Elasticsearch cluster running on your laptop, and it is publicly accessible, of course secure. Okay. I hope you all would do this. Anyone have doubts or anyone have problems? Please let me know. If you are ahead of this, please let me know, like, so that, like, you know, we could move ahead and do the next stuff. So this is what we have done right now. Yeah. Again, let us create a Kibana instance and connect it and show it everything. So similar fashion. See, unlike previous one, you have Elasticsearch in the kind. Now we are having Kibana, and you pull the relevant version, and then you also attach a load balancer just in case, just because we want to kind of like what do you call add an IP, etc. So yeah, can you share the link to slides? I think you missed the thing. Okay, I'm just copy pasting it. Okay, he is the lab content. So you see that Kibana is up again. So you'll say kubectl get Kibana -w, and then you will see the Kibana thing coming up in a minute. So I guess any doubts here till now, people, or you are all up with Kibana? +1, please, if you are done or something like that. Great.
Awesome. Great, Arvind. We could see many people +1ing. So yeah, many people are up with Elasticsearch and Kibana. So we are good with lab 1, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, we're good with lab 1. So the just one is like, you know, yeah, yes, you could access. That's the next thing that we want to show. So now that Kibana and Elasticsearch is ready, so just do kubectl get Kibana, or sorry, get SVC to see what are the services that are running. And okay, sorry, I typed this wrong. And then you'll be able to see the external IP and everything, etc. Like the load balancer has provisioned everything. Just click on the lab settings, go to the machine info in the same way. in the just similar manner how what you have done for the same thing. If you are using the same DNS, it's okay. Just use 5601 and click enter, but you need to give the username and password. So by the time it loads, we will try to give that.
Yeah, these kind of an unsafe command is because we have not configured the certificate for the sake of this lab. Usually in production, you would be configuring with SSL certificate. But for this lab, that's going to be kind of an additional overhead, right? So to keep it simple, so the main motto of this particular lab is to get familiarized with Elastic and especially the security analytics with Elastic, where we are installing inside Kubernetes. So that's why you could see that unsafe certificate from Google Chrome, but still you can access it without certificate. But in production, you would be installing and configuring self-signed certificate that is already available in the Elasticsearch documentation.
Yeah. So don't worry, this environment will also be there for more hours. Even after the lab session, we can extend it for you, and then you could practice it, or you could try stuff actually, learning things. You could deploy, etc., etc. So don't worry about it. So we are also giving this thing, and that's no problem. I have difficulties accessing public. Both have come up. So okay, good. I think Haran, can you help? Can you help like Sarye? I'll see what Uday is doing.
Yep, I'll just connect with Sarye. Yeah.
So if everyone is done, like you will see the screen when you log in. Yeah. So you might face problems if you are copying the wrong stuff, or if you have stuff that is there. Just kubectl get svc echo password. Keep it ready. Okay. Just try it again. Sarye, Uday, and Joshua, everyone. Just try this one because I faced problems as well. If you might have missed something actually. So you could copy the public DNS. Right, copy the public DNS, like you could copy, and then close it, open it, and like with 9200 port, you need to give the port as well. So that is the important thing. So try it again, but make sure that you have give the password.
Yeah, so basically, once you copy the public DNS, you have to put HTTPS. I think many people might be missing that, right? Like that makes sense. So you have to provide HTTPS : the DNS name : 5601. So that should take you to the Kibana UI.
Yeah. So you might be just hitting the DNS. That's it. But you need to hit the port. That's where you will get 404. If I remove this, yeah, you might be hitting the port. That's the thing. Yeah. So yeah, Sarya, please see if you also have got resolved. So like I said, Kibana, you have this. You will get to this UI, and you could click on explore on my own. Okay, Joshua, I guess you are also good. I guess that's what username is Elastic, password is echo password. You will get it. Okay, that's the default user. You could create additional users later. I am clicking on explore my own in Kibana, so it will take me to this place. Okay, this is where the lab one ends. And if you have any question, etc., yeah, you could find.
So Nikunj, for the DNS, once again, Arvind will be showing. Go to the settings bar, click mission info. There you will get the public DNS. So you could access your UI with this public DNS, HTTPS, public DNS, along with port 5601. 5601 is the default port for Kibana. So that's automatically gets configured. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So any other questions till now? Otherwise, we'll go to the next lab actually.
Yeah, Arvind, maybe we'll give like 5 minutes for everyone to get accessed, play around Kibana, and then we'll show the lab 2 of exploring Kibana.
Yeah. So yeah, lab 2 is also like kind of exploring Kibana and playing with Kibana only. But I just want to like, please let me know if you have any questions or like doubts, or you're stuck, or you have things that you want to ask more. Happy to help. So we are just giving 2 or 3 minutes for you to like kind of get started. Yeah. We are doing okay on time. Yeah. Yep, we are good. Okay, I'm stopping the screen share and lab 2, Haran will do the lab 2. So yeah. Great. But if you have any questions, I keep asking because if you are stuck, please let me know. Virtual is really hard, and I don't really like putting you in trouble, and that's why we have done most of the configuration actually. Yeah, same as Elastic.
Joshua. Yeah.
The Elastic dot creds that you are getting.
So perfect. Thank you so much, Arvind. That was great to get installed with Elasticsearch and Kibana. So hope all of us are in the same page. We have installed Elasticsearch, we have installed Kibana in the Kubernetes, and we talked about all the possible options of Kubernetes, containers, and everything. So the next step is to understand Elasticsearch, the features of Elasticsearch, and then followed by ingesting data and playing around security use cases. As part of lab 2, you could see explore Kibana, right? So we don't have much of a step-by-step for lab 2. It's just going to be like a demo where I'm going to show you. You can do this lab 2. We'll give like 5-10 minutes once I demoed it, or you can do it anytime. As Aravind said, the lab will be available even after this session. So talking about lab 2, first let's access Kibana. As we mentioned, you can access using HTTPS, DNS name, and then 5601 port. Once it is accessed, you can, the default username is Elastic, which is the administrative credential. Elastic also has various role-based access control. You can create more users, restrict the access, attribute-based access controls, and everything. So that's the next step. First, let's access with default credentials, Elastic. And what about the password? So if you go to Kubernetes mission, so you could see after showcasing the password, if we do echo password, maybe let me zoom in a bit. So hope it is visible now. If you do echo password, each of us will be getting our unique password where we deployed Elasticsearch. So this is the password. You could copy it, store it, and then kind of access the Kibana using the username and password. So let's log in. So you will get a home page talking about either to explore on your own or add data. What it is mean by add data is we have some sample data available within Elasticsearch. So if you see like add data, right? So if you go to the sample data, you have like, you could add data like sample e-commerce data, sample flight data, sample web logs, and something like that, right? So that's something possible. You could do that. In our case, you can do this or you can explore on our own. So let's first explore Kibana. So what is Kibana? Kibana is nothing but the UI layer of the stack. Like there are a few methods to ingest data like beats, logstash. Someone also mentioned about fluentd. So fluentd is another available tool that can ingest data. There are various tools, right? Even you can ingest data using your Python scripts or something like that. Elasticsearch is rich in API. So utilizing those, you can ingest data in every way. So in this lab, we'll use the inbuilt Elasticsearch solution like Beats and Logstash. So we'll be leveraging that. And then once the data is ingested, it will get stored inside your Elasticsearch mission, right? Elasticsearch is like a data store. And then this Kibana is the UI layer of the stack that will pull and query the data that is available inside your stack, right? So that's the main purpose of Kibana. Once if you see, we have various inbuilt features built on top of Kibana, like discovering your data, right? So in your environment, you might have this sample data if you have added, or in the lab 3, we will be doing Winlog Beat installation. So once you install this Winlog Beat, you will have so many data scrolling up. You can search across this data. For example, process.name. So it automatically helps you with auto completion and auto suggestion, right? So process.name is Powershell.exe. So if you click on update, in a couple of seconds, it should crawl across all your data, and it is giving you 151 hits that relates to process.name is Powershell.exe. In this way, you can search across your data. So if you expand this, you will have all your particular document, particular event details, host details, process details, network details, and everything. You could also put it in tabular column way, and you can kind of visualize your data, right? For example, let's say process.name, right? So, oops, process.name. Yeah. So you can add this, you can put it in various way. Something Elasticsearch is very rich is visualization, right? So visualize the data. So it automatically take you to something called visualization library. So now let's remove this filter, click update, so that it will pull all your process, right? Not just PowerShell. So it automatically creates visualization for you in a fraction of seconds, right? Not just single visualization. It provides you some suggestions, like you can keep it in the pie chart, you can keep it in the stack bars or something like that, right? And then you can increase your things like event.module, something like event.module, right? You can drag and drop. Just in the drag and drop, it's going to provide you different visualization ways, right? Like it's going to give you all the meaningful informations. So then you can click save, process across events, event modules, right? So you can automatically add it to a dashboard or create a new dashboard, or don't do anything, right? Just create a visualization library. So you can have all sorts of things. You can create a tag for your visualizations, like ECK-sim is what I'm going to create as a tag. So yeah, you can create a new dashboard. So if you click on save and go to dashboard, it will automatically take you to the dashboard, and it will pull up your visualization here. So you can add multiple visualization into a dashboard. Let's save this dashboard like ECK-sim dashboard, right? So I'll put the same tag if I want, or I can have obvious descriptions and everything. So once it is saved, then this dashboards can be scheduled into reports and various things, right? Like you can have you can create into APIs, you can create into reports, PDF reports, and all sorts of things. So you can add multiple visualization to a single dashboard and then populate inside your screen. You can keep it in full screen mode. You can do all sorts of things. So everything, if you see, I did it in fraction of seconds. There is a big data scientist team needs to be involved. So if you see, we have a dedicated visualization library, dashboard. Elasticsearch automatically helps you to operate across your data sets, right? You found something as a data, you wanted to visualize it, you created visualization directly, and then from that visualization, you created a dashboard. All sorts of things is available. So even Elasticsearch provides pre-built dashboards for you, right? I ingested Windows data from Windows machine, which we are going to do it in lab 3. Once you do this lab 3, once you do Winlog Beat setup, it will automatically create all these index patterns, dashboards, and everything. So let's say Winlog Beat overview, right? This is a pre-built dashboard automatically Elasticsearch creates for me. So that's cool, right? So I can start from here. I can increase my investigations. I can do all sorts of things. If you see, put it in edit mode, add from library. We did something like process, right? We created something like process across event modules. that visualization can be added here to my pre-built dashboard, or I can create my own dashboard. So you have the ability to play around the data. Skies are the limit. So you can do all sorts of things. So this is fine. Playing around the data, creating visualization, SOC dashboards, and everything is fine. You have inbuilt machine learning, geospatial analysis, and all sorts of things. So that's the next use case. How about playing around security? Elasticsearch has an inbuilt security tab inside Kibana that starts with overview tab, right? So let's say last 24 hours or so. So Elasticsearch provides an overview tab that starts with kind of talks about your Elastic security detections if you have, external alerts, kind of events, recent case management, recent timeline, and importantly, it also updates security news to you. As an analyst, when I'm working on a tool, it is important to keep myself up to date on the tool which I'm working. So it provides all the security news for you, like recent blogs, webinars, feature releases related to Elastic security, right? So I can understand there is some new blog written like problem child detecting living off the land attack using Elastic machine learning. So I can understand what this new feature is, what this new blog is. I can put it in my system, all sorts of things. And then it has a detection page that talks about all your detection alerts. And then host tab, it's a pre-built host tab, talks about your host that you are integrating with Elastic Stack, right? The data which you are ingesting. So in our case, we have one host, you have all these details, right? What is the operating system? Everything is pre-built for you. It automatically providing you all the details. If you see our lab, this particular Stigo lab is running in AWS environment. So it automatically pulls what cloud provider it is, what is the region and everything, right? Importantly, it automatically pulls uncommon process for you. So I could understand there is some uncommon process running in my environment. So let's say I have like PowerShell.exe that has like bypass argument. So that is something suspicious. Why should my environment have PowerShell.exe? This is what we are going to do in lab 2. I mean, lab 3. Just drag and drop in the bottom called timeline. We have something called timeline. That's very cool, right? I just dragged and dropped inside inside this timeline. And if you click on this, it's going to pull all my data related to PowerShell.exe. So that's cool, right? So I can, if I want to increase my investigation, I have this search bar here, similar to what we saw initially, process.arg. It helps me with auto completion, auto suggestion is something like bypass. If I start typing B, it provides me auto completion, auto suggestion. So if I click enter, automatically it updates to 13 events, right? So it is only showing me process.powershell.exe only with argument called bypass. If I want to increase my tabular column, click on this particular customized column button. You have all this field here, right? So let's say process.name, right? I can click on this, or process.arg. I can click on this, something like that, right? Process.parent, all sorts of things, right? I can add these things here. To understand more, what you can do is click on this view details. It will give you all the details about this particular event. What are the agent details? What are the cloud details, host details, process details, file details? If it is a network related event, it will give you more network related details and everything, right? So let's say I wanted to also add parent process details. Click on this, it automatically adds your tabular column, right? So that's something cool. Add parent process name. So you can do all sorts of things. If you want, you can keep it in JSON view if that helps you. So there are people who understands JSON more than the tabular column. So you can have JSON view. We can start investigating further, right? So if I want, I can put it in uncondition or condition, just drag and drop. I can increase my investigation. To have a complete SOC workflow, what you can do is you can add investigation notes to it. So that's cool, right? This is a suspicious, definitely not auspicious. It's a suspicious PowerShell event. So I can add all sorts of links, GIFs, or whatever it is, right? It supports Markdown language. So I can add investigation notes and then save this investigation however I want, right? Like demo investigation. So once I save this investigation, I can have more SOC operational workflow. What I mean is you can attach it to inbuilt case management workflow. So that's the SecOps we are talking. So you started with discovering your data, ingesting the data, searching the data. We have timeline, we have a security app that could help you to investigate and narrow down some malicious events. Once you find something suspicious, you can add notes about your investigation. And then to give you a complete security operational workflow, it has an inbuilt case management workflow, right? Case management feature inbuilt. So you can add case, right? Case 001. Case 001, malicious event, malicious PowerShell event. So you can add all these things. You can tag it. You can create a tag. You can like maybe ECKSIM is my tag. You can have or level 1 analyst. You can do all sorts of things, right? Oops. Case 001.
So basically what Haran is trying to tell you here is like, this is how the real investigation or, SecOps platform or a analyst or would work with all these solutions. So if you are building a SecOps platform or DevSecOps platform, or if you want to do a lot of AppSec work as well, or looking forward to build your career in this area. In fact, many people work full time on cases like they go to the office and you kind of like start working on only cases, which is also the same with a lot of SRE job roles as well. So basically, yeah. So that's why this is very important, even though it looks like trivial. But it's kind of like very important, because the next step we are trying to show, we'll install some agents and push data in this UI. It looks easy, but then what to do? How do you navigate it? How do you add stuff? So those are the things that are important. Yeah, Haran, yes, I'm back.
Yep. So that's what, right? Like as Aravind said, this might be looking like a demo, same thing which you are going to do in lab 3 and lab 4. We are going to ingest data. We are going to play around these things. So as lab 2, I just showed you how to explore things, right? So once with proper licensing setup, what I mean is like we have like platinum license and other things. With that, you could connect have some external connection like ServiceNow and other things. So that's not with this particular lab intention. So let's not go to this licensing stuff. Let's keep to a community way. And then like similar to host, you have pre-built a network tab talking about it starts with maps, right? If you have enabled geospatial analysis, which we can do, but that's not the part of this lab. Connect with me and Arvind, we can help you in geospatial analysis. So it provides you which source to which destination you have all those connections and everything. And then it automatically shows you all the top talkers, right? What are the source IPs and top source IPs in last 24 hours? You can go back and forth with the time, like last 7 days or whatever it is, right? It's going to pull you all these details, like what are the different DNS data connected to you. So I have something like withyourface.com connecting to 138 queries of DNS connection. That is something suspicious. So what I can do is create a new timeline for my investigation, close it, just drag and drop. So that's going to give me all the details about my that particular DNS domain, right? So that's something cool. We have various pre-built things to kickstart your investigation. So these are always like proactive investigation. For retrospective detections, like you have an inbuilt detection engine. Elastic provides pre-built detection rule, right? Like let's load this, like once you go to this detections tab and then create manage detection rules, Elastic provides like 500 plus out of the box detection rules. Like let's click on this. So in a fraction of a second, it will automatically load from the Elastic site and it will put it into your cluster and it will load like 500 plus out of the box rules shipped for you. So that's very cool, right? You can immediately kickstart with your detections. So in before lab 3, what we are going to do is we are going to load this rule, click on PowerShell, This might not be in your lab deck. So please look into this. This might not be in your step-by-step procedure. So this is an additional procedure I wanted you to do. Once you do lab 2, in the lab 3, in the lab 4, what you're going to do is load this pre-built detection rule, click on PowerShell, click enter. So there are various PowerShell rules available for you. What we are going to do is we are going to enable this Windows script executing PowerShell. We are going to enable this. Just enable this rule, right? So after enabling this rule, we are going to detonate a mock malware, and so that your detections can automatically detect and trigger an alert. So that's what we are going to do. So yeah, so I'll stop it here. Play around this. There are so many features beyond what I have explained. So let's proceed with lab 3.
Yeah, I just want you to show also this thing, because I think a lot of people are either coming from the ops world, or also like are developers interested to learn security. I guess so. The profile is like that. I don't know before the workshop, but I guess so. So if you could remove, just go to the seam play, and then you could remove the PowerShell one and click on the tags. Yeah, and click on the tags and click on the APM or application APM, first one. So there are some rules which are very specific to APM as well. I guess it is in the application or APM. I don't remember. I think application. So there are some rules.
I think I might have some filters. Just give me a sec. Let me load everything. Yeah.
So I am not sure. So there are some rules which are AppSec specific. I'm not sure why it is not loading, but you also find application security specific rules. Suppose if you are monitoring your application, and then like you want to do some OWASP specific detection, HTTP code detection, someone is trying to bomb your APIs, do a lot of these things, right? So you could do all of that. If you are on some cloud, I guess, Haran, you could also show that AWS rules. So if you are on cloud and someone is doing AWS related stuff, like, some problem, like you have AWS S3 bucket getting deleted without your action. So some stuff like which is more falling into the asset tracking, continuous monitoring and visibility, and a lot of this cloud stuff. There are, I think, more than 70 AWS stuff itself. So you could go and look at all of that as well. So this is a useful stuff to use in your daily work. You will see a lot of things. I have seen a lot of things that I don't know that, okay, this is happening in my environment. Okay, so that is interesting. So we want you to explore this, take a look at this, what and all is there. And also see there is something called Credential Access as well. Okay, Haran is saying something. Okay.
Yeah, what I want to do is, apart from this 500 plus rules, right, we are also having a lab where you will be creating your new own rule. So that is also important, right? Every environment has their own environmental specific rules, exceptions. You can add false positive examples, exceptions, and everything. So everything you can also create your own rule, like machine learning based rule, threshold based rule, threat intel indicator match rules, and all sorts of things. And one important factor is, how many have you heard about MITRE, right? So this MITRE attack framework. So they are a non-profit organization mapping all the enterprise level cyber attacks to a proper matrix, like technique and tactic procedures of attack matrix, right? So Elastic, what it does is, all the 500 plus rules are mapped with MITRE TTPs. So if you see, we have mapping with proper, what is TTP means? Technique and tactic procedures. So we are mapping with proper technique and tactic procedures. Beyond this, you can also create your own rule, and this own rule can also be mapped with technique and tactic procedures, right? So let's say I investigated something. So import query from your saved timeline, right? I investigated something, I saved into my timeline. So I wanted to put that into a rule, right? So I can investigate that. So I can assign severity. I can assign a risk score for my rule. So I can do all sorts of things. In the advanced setting, I can add false positive example, reference URL for this rule. Importantly, I can add MITRE, more than one MITRE technique and tactic procedures, so that I can take my cybersecurity to a much more matured curve, right? I can understand this level of this particular alert is related to such attack technique, such attack tactic, so that my analyst will understand how to interpret that log, how to investigate further, what are the informations, right? So everything, you can add some investigation guides for your analyst. You can provide your rule names and everything, right? And then importantly, you can schedule it. And then the coolest part is you can have various inbuilt notification. You can have email notification, IBM Resilient, or you can connect with Slack, webhook APIs, or whatever it is, right? So you can have all these things available for you. Cool. So that's pretty much about exploring Kibana. There are more things you can explore on your own. I think we are running out of time. So let's proceed with lab 3. Lab 2, you can play around at any time. So where do I have my lab 3? Yep. So lab 2 is exploring Kibana. So even after this session, you can play around your Kibana. Then let's go for lab 3, ingesting data.
Yeah, any questions till now? Anyone? So please let us know. We are happy to help. Yeah, if you have any questions, if you have any doubts, I guess Haran, someone Karthik has some problem. If you could add me as an instructor to the
Yep.
So that would be helpful. Yeah,
sure, I will do that. Yeah.
Some people have problems with some people have problem. How to access the Kibana, unable to get. So just see, you might be accessing without 5601. Just add your port, and then you will be able to get DNS : port, enter Elastic is the username, and password is echo password that you get. Okay, Joshua, you have a question like how Kibana is different from Grafana, whether it is similar to Grafana or both serves different purpose. So Grafana is also a visualizer like Kibana, but Grafana has can talk to multiple data stores, and that's not a bug, that's a feature. And Kibana is talks to Elasticsearch, and Kibana is also maturing to become more of like an UI on top of Elasticsearch, which can do a lot of stuff. We have an active partnership with Grafana. There is an Elasticsearch plugin being built by Grafana and Elastic devs, and we look forward to do more on Grafana as well. So that is something that we are looking to do things as well. Yeah. So in a nutshell, both are UI engines, both does same stuff, both are equally capable, not something. No, Shashank, I guess if you have problems it is not that one. So let me share my screen and show you that. Okay, let me just do that. I'm just sharing my screen. Okay, I'm just refreshing my screen so that I get instructor permission so that I could help you all. Okay, so you all should go. If you have problems, don't go to the IP, go to the machine info, public DNS, this colon 5601 is the one, and you have to give https :/ your public DNS colon 5601 is your place where your Kibana can work. So that's how you need to do. I hope that answered the stuff. That is not right. So if you are good, if you are successful, please let us know. Great. So
Yep.
So I guess we are good to go again. Haran, I think I got the privilege, so thank you.
Okay. So can you see my screen, Arvind?
Yes, I could see your screen. So if you have any
Okay.
questions, okay, in between as well, I'm happy to help.
Perfect. So yeah, let's start ingesting some data. So what we are going to do is we are going to skip these 2 slides, like setting up audit beat in CentOS, because we are running out of time. So we'll focus on setting up winlog beat in Windows, because that's where we are going to detonate malware, play around those security analytics and everything. You can come back to this 27 and 28 slide later. You have access, and then you can install audit beat and see how the logs look like, audit data, file integrity, create visualization and everything. So 27 and 28 is for self-play. So play around those CentOS mission. Now let's proceed with slide 29. If possible, follow with me, but no worries. If you feel following up is little kind of an hectic for me, please observe, and then we'll stop. We'll have some time for everybody to be on same page. So what we are going to do is we have a Windows VM, and I have already put up a system setup script inside Elastic folder. So if you go to that folder, we are going to install the system setup. What this script will do is it will install all the necessary applications for us for this particular workshop. So it will install the WinLog beat, it will install Sysmon, it will install Notepad++ for us to kind of edit the configurational file and everything. So let's do that. Go to Strigo. Where is my lab? Yeah. So we are in this Kubernetes, right? So click on this drop down button, go to Win Mission. So maybe let me close this, close everything. Yep. Even I'll close my PowerShell script. Okay. So this is a fresh Windows machine you will be seeing. So let's go to click on PowerShell. So it will automatically open you in users administrator column. Now let's do CD Elastic, right? Once you, oops, sorry, CD EL Elastic, right? So once you put CD space E, capital E, small L tab, it will provide you Elastic, or copy paste from the document, copy paste from the deck. So we are going inside the Elastic folder, and there you could see a setup script, right? So if you do system setup, right? SIS tabular column. So you'll provide this particular thing. So please proceed with the script. I have already installed the script, so I'm not going to click enter, but this is what you are going to do. Go to Elastic folder and run this system setup script. If you want, you can go to this particular thing, just copy paste this CD, and the second command is just copy paste this, and it will run. It will take a couple of minutes, and it will run everything, and it's going to set up for you. Once that is run, you can go to this folder, right? Go to Windows column, users, administrator, and inside administrator you'll have this folder called Elastic. Once you run this setup script, it will install all these things like WinLog beat, and it will automatically unzip for you. It will install your Sysmon installation, and it will install Notepad++, and it will install your mock script and everything. So this is what we are going to do, like a system setup. So let me pause here for 2 minutes, and you can proceed with that system setup. And let me know if you have any questions.
Can you again repeat what it does? Because
okay. So what it does is, once you run this system setup script, if you go to Windows users administrator, I mean the C: users administrator, inside that you will have a folder called Elastic. That's where we ran this system setup script. Once you run the script, once it is successful, it will download WinLog beat, Sysmon, Notepad, and my mock script. It will do all these things, and it will also unzip for you, unzip your WinLog beat for you. I mean, this is nothing related to Elastic. This is a system setup script created for this workshop.
Okay, check.
Perfect. So we have a question like, in your experience, does analyzing security via Elastic require a dedicated person on the team? For example, our team is small, less than 10 people. I mean, in my experience, 10 people is really one of the big team. In many security places, there are teams with 4 people, 5 people, 3 people. So 10 people is really a very good team. One of the important features within Elastic, or one of the important pillars we talked talk track with Elastic is enabling every security analyst. So that's what we wanted to give all these pre-built things, right? It automatically gives you pre-built dashboards, detection rules, uncommon processors, network view, host view, and everything. That reduces MTD of your security analyst. What I mean is mean time to detect of your security analyst, right? So that's why even a smaller team can quickly get started with doing security analytics with Elastic. So that's why we are providing more and more out of the box features, and we have a dedicated team working on those experiences, giving you rich UI experience and out of the box experience. Do we have log shippers only for the host? Do we have Beat for monitoring for the Kubernetes, like monitoring the API servers and everything? So great question. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you like elastic.co/integration. I mean, HTTPS elastic.co/integrations. Oops, spelling error. Okay, bear with my capital H. So what we are going to do is we are going to go to this Elastic integrations page. We have a dedicated page called integration that has all the modules available for you today. It's a continuous growing library, right? Even you can start with your Kubernetes, monitoring your Kubernetes containers, right? Like you can monitor your Fluentd, you can monitor your Kubernetes metrics, logs, control managers, and everything, right? So we have a dedicated integration page that talks about what are the out of the box data shippers, log shippers, metric shippers available, not just from security perspective, from an infrastructure, observability, and all, even for your cloud and everything, right? So we have various things. I think that answers your question. Okay, so with the interest of time, let's get to the next step. Once you do the system setup, hope everybody are in the same page. And you have all these things getting installed. Hope the script works good. Next thing is, let's do Sysmon installation. Just do this thing, right? What do I have as a next step? Yep, just copy paste this, install the Sysmon. It will just get installed in a couple of seconds. Nothing to do from our side. It automatically gets installed and configured. So I have it scripted everything. This is outside Elastic, right? So that's why I have scripted. So for people who don't know what Sysmon is another open source tool created by a project called Sysinternal from Microsoft. So it's an open source tool that provides you additional event logging capability. It automatically monitors your process, networks, registries, security events, and all sorts of things. So it's an additional unit, additional agent, open source agent available from Microsoft itself. I mean, it was originally created by a project called Sysinternal. Then Microsoft acquired it. So it's a very old project, but it's a very famous project from security side. So we have some question from Girish. So Girish, I'll come back to that question. Meanwhile, Aravind will look into that question. With the interest of time, let's get started with this workshop. And definitely we'll speak about that particular pods question. Just give me a sec. Okay, so let's go back to this Trigo. Let's install this Sysmon. So once you click on this script, everything will be getting installed. After Sysmon, we are going to install Notepad. I know these are additional steps apart from this Elastic. Why we need Notepad is to easily edit a winlog beat configurational file, right? So that's why I wanted to give you this Notepad. So go to the next step as well. Click on this particular exe file from Notepad++ installer. It will open an UI for you. Click next, and start installing the Notepad. That's all. Let me know if you have any trouble in that.
So it's not there in that same directory, Elastic directory.
What do you mean? Like after running the setup script, you don't find any details there?
No, that Notepad++, I think it's not there.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Let's see.
I think
the name is different.
Okay, name is
It's
different.
an exe,
I
actually.
see name is
It's an
different.
exe that I verified.
Oh, okay. I think I have to Okay, sorry, this is my old testing. So Notepad plus, right? Sorry about that. Thanks for pointing it out. Notepad plus is the new name I added in my script. Sorry. So just for the convenient purpose, I just added a new name. Hope that will fix the issue.
Yeah. It's,
Yep.
I think, running now.
Perfect. So you'll get a UI, just click on next, so it will install Notepad. So that's fine. Now we have did a system setup. We have WinLogBeat installed. I mean, not installed, just downloaded. Now we are coming to the Elastic part of thing. We are going to install WinLogBeat. So that's what this third step is. So if you could see my screen, this third step is go to CD WinLogBeat this folder. So let me go to my Strigo. So if you see, we have this folder, right? So inside this PowerShell, we are going to go to CD WinLogBeat folder, click enter. We are going to go to this folder, and then WinLogBeat will have its own installation script. We are just going to run this script. That's all. This is from Elastic. So once it is, this is how you install WinLogBeat. So yeah, install the WinLogBeat. Once the WinLogBeat is installed, it will be automatically in the stopped state. So let it be there. What we are going to do is we are going to navigate to that particular WinLogBeat folder, click on this WinLogBeat YAML file, right click, edit with Notepad++, right? So that we can easily edit it. So that's why I wanted you to install Notepad++. So first thing we are going to do is we are going to do this setup.kibana. So you will have something like this. You will have something like host, local host, something. What you're going to do is you are going to uncomment it, put your domain name, which is already inside your Kibana, right? So this one, you are going to put this up to this. You are going to put this inside this Kibana host. And then you also need to add this particular Ssl verification mode none under it, because in production, you might not need it. Here we need it because, as I said before, we are not configuring SSL certificate. So for this particular host to connect with Kibana without certificate, you need to bypass that. That's all. One thing I wanted to provide you is, please observe, in this particular Strigo mission, you can leverage this particular clipboard. Keep it open. So let's say I wanted to copy from my browser, right? So this one, copy from your browser, go to Strigo and put it in clipboard. Keep it open. So what you can do is from here, Control C, which is your Windows machine, and then you can paste it here. So clipboard needs to act as a medium between your browser or machine and inside this Strigo. So that is how Strigo works. So that is nothing from my end. So you can leverage this clipboard.
Yeah, thanks to Windows. Actually, that's how Windows works.
Yeah. All right. So I have also put this. I'll also put this particular thing in the chat if you want. It's already available in the document, but still you can.
Make sure that you add SSL.verification mode, and also make sure that you don't have the extra slash at the end in your Kibana URL. Just see, after 5601, you should not have a slash. Just copy from HTTPS to 5601. That's it.
Yep. So this one, after setting up the Kibana, scroll little bit down. Here is what we are going to configure the Elasticsearch output. So you have, if you go to this Kubernetes mission, go to this mission info, you have the DNS name, you have the public IP and everything, right? Take this public IP, copy paste it, go to this Win mission, use the clipboard, and then put it in the host, right? The 9200 will be automatically available. If you want, you can put that, it will be automatically available. And then uncomment this protocol, because by
we are matching that state. Now, if one pod dies, what happens now? My count is now matching right now in both the states. Desired is 3, current is 2, they're not matching, which means I need to create one more pod, and that way I would get my desired and current states in a matching state. And that is what replica set would be doing it for you continuously. It wants to make sure that we run the right number of pods there.
Let me just copy that command from there and then change the reference to hello.js file here. Good. And then spec, of course, right? So great. So again, spec created, and you can go and watch the spec file here. For function, now it refers to archive, and then archive says include hello.js file on your local file system, right? Great. Now let's do spec apply with -watch. Here, I'm going to clear this out. I hope you can see it clearly, right? The font and all is good.
So this is my Signos folder, and we'll go to deploy folder, and we'll try to run /install.sh script. So this is my local Mac machine. I hope it should be installed. So when we run this script, it asks me to choose a setup ClickHouse and or Kafka.
Automatically streamed to your Elastic. Before that, we need to set up the WinLogB to create automatic index pattern dashboards for you, right? That's what this pre-built thing is. So if you go to this thing, if you go to the next deck, I have, where is it? Did I add it? WinLogB setup -e? Nope. Okay, let me add it here. Just do inside the WinLogB mission. I mean, inside the WinLogB folder, winlogb.exe setup, right? Just run this command. I'll show you in my demo. So go to PowerShell. Inside this WinLogB folder, you are going to do this. winlogb.exe setup. That's all. This will, what it will do is it will connect to your Kibana, it will connect to your Elasticsearch automatically. It doesn't necessarily need your service to start or stop, nothing to do with your service. You can do after or before, no problem. Once you run this setup, it will automatically load your index, load your dashboards, and if you have Platinum license, it will also load your machine learning jobs. We also have pre-built machine learning jobs created for you to load your index lifecycle policy and everything. So Arvind, I think recording is stopped or restarted. Yeah, I think recording is resumed.
Okay, for some reason it is stopped, probably. Yeah, anyway.
Okay, so hope everybody are in the same page. After installing WinLogB, edit the file, edit the Kibana settings and Elasticsearch setting, and then run this winlogb.exe setup. This setup command will help you to automatically create your index pattern, dashboards and everything. Everything can be done manual also, but why should we do manual when there is a command like this? Yeah. After that, go to services and start your WinLogB. Once you start it, the data should get streamed to your Elastic cluster. So wait for a couple of seconds and go to discover. You could see a WinLogB -* index pattern automatically created for you. And then the data is getting streamed, right? You can see all those data getting streamed. So let me pause here for 5 minutes. Please proceed with these steps and let me know if you have any questions. Okay, we have an error for Shashank. Okay, so that's what Shashank, please do not proceed with HTTP. What you need to do is inside your folder, you need to uncomment this protocol. That's why that's how it will take HTTPS. Otherwise, by default, it will take HTTP.
I guess he is talking about the Kibana thing. Haran, did we also configure the Kibana host? No.
Yes, we need to configure Kibana. Okay, failed to get Kibana version HTTP GET request. Okay, in Kibana you should provide HTTPS. I think he has given HTTP. In Kibana you should provide HTTPS. Yeah, makes sense. I think his error is he has given HTTP. Yeah.
Could you please check and let you know, because definitely HTTP won't work. Yeah.
So does anybody completed with this step? Are you seeing the data getting streamed?
Yeah,
Okay.
mine is done. I'm able to see.
Perfect. Okay. So we have another error for Sari and Nikunj. So first, let me check Nikunj's error. Couldn't connect to any host, connecting Elasticsearch, HTTPS, public IP. Okay, dial TCP connection attempt. Okay, so Aravind, can you check Nikunj's Kubernetes mission, whether it's on or there is any error in the mission? I think Elasticsearch is not responding for him.
So please don't use the other IP. Why are you using public IP? Please use the DNS itself. If you are using DNS, I guess it resolves well with the lab environment. I guess you are
okay.
I guess you have
Okay.
used something that is not DNS. So what are you using, Haran?
No, in Elasticsearch, I'm using public IP. That works for me and as well as for many people. So I think that should be fine. But his error is like the Elasticsearch is not responding. I think the Kubernetes mission is either it's not running or something like that. Yeah, we have to check that, because in that mission only Elasticsearch is installed and it needs to respond.
I'm seeing your lab. Just give me a moment, huh?
Yeah.
Nikunj, right?
And Sari also has same error as Nikunj. Okay, so meanwhile, Aravind will be working on these two errors. I think some other people have also have already configured. So anybody else, please provide +1 if you have seeing the data getting streamed. Thanks, Shashi. Everything is cool. Okay, so you can play around those data, right? You can see the data. There are default default dashboards and everything. So that's what we ingested data. Next thing, what we are going to do is we are going to the interesting topic like security analytics with the data which we are streaming. So just to give you a background about this particular script or this particular malware is that in the real campaign, there was a APT group called Helix, right? They called APT 34. The payload was delivered to victims via a phishing email. And once that phishing email will have a Word document. Once you click this Word document, that Word document will have an inbuilt macro attached to it. So once you click that Word document, the macro will automatically get triggered, and that will connect to a malicious domain connection, CNC connections, and it will do all the kind of trouble to your host, right? So that's what it does. So in this lab, what we did is we wanted to mock that particular APT34. We created a mock script called apt34.PowerShell script, right? So we created a mock script. We took that particular scenario and we created a malicious dummy DNS domain called withyourface.com, and that's what this particular mock script will do. So it's a simulation of macro activity. So inside your Elastic folder, so come out, go to your Elastic folder. You have this apt34.ps1 script. Just run this script. That's all. It will do all the kind of mock macro activity, and then we can start analyzing inside our Kibana. We can do detection rules and everything. So one thing before that, let's enable the pre-built detection rule and enable the PowerShell detection rule. So go to Elastic security detections.
Haran, I guess many people are having problems setting up WinLog. So we'll give some time and resolve everyone, and then we'll come back. Okay. Yeah, I guess.
Okay, sure. Makes sense. Sure, Uday. So let's fast forward here. Please proceed with data streaming, data ingestion, and we'll wait for a few minutes. Yeah,
for Harsh, I guess. Please see the time period, like what Haran Haran, if you could go to the discover, and he selected the time period, right? So just see if you could see the time period, which what is last 7 days or 24 hours or what it is. That is one thing. And if you have no errors, are just see if there is any error on your console, whatever you're trying to do. So that is there. And for Nikunj, I guess you are seeing a different public IP for CentOS machine. I guess you are seeing. Let me find out for you, because I could also see your lab and see what is the machine. Why it is showing 54? I don't understand 54. From where it is?
I think I got it. Like the problem was because I was checking the public IP from the Win machine and not from the Kubernetes machine. That was the problem.
Correct. Yeah. So basically,
So now it works.
Okay. Perfect, Nikunj. So basically, you understand the concept, right? Windows machine winlog beat is trying to connect to the Elasticsearch that is installed inside your Kubernetes machine. So you need to provide the public IP of your Kubernetes.
True.
And then for Harsha, unable to get the data in Kibana. So if you run winlog beat setup, if it didn't show any error, if it was successful, please check if you have enabled your winlog beat services. By default, it will not start. You need to start your services.
Oh, okay. Maybe I missed that. So
Correct.
Like install service winlogbeat.ps, should I run that? That will start the service.
No, like you can go to the services, search for winlog beat, just start the service. That's all.
Okay, got it. Maybe I missed it.
Yeah, many people might miss this. After setup command, if it didn't show error, your everything is good. You can go to this winlog beat and start the service. And there are few test commands also. Apart from this workshop, I just wanted to tell you. So in every beat, right, there is a test config command, like test config. It will take your default configuration which you did, and it will tell whether there are any error or not. It will even tell on which line there is an error and what type of error it is. So it's a very good way to troubleshoot if you have any configurational error, right? It will tell whether the IP is error or Elasticsearch connection is error or something. Definitely, it will not tell you the connection error. It will check you the winlog beat configurational file, and it will say if there are any syntax error or something like that.
I think I missed what kind of service we need to start. Winlog bat, right?
Winlog beat. Yes, right.
Okay.
Yeah, Haran, I was able to get the data now. Yeah, I missed that service, starting the service. Okay.
Perfect. So Uday, sorry about that if you feel we are rushing through. So let me know if you have any questions, if you need any assistance, we can definitely get through it. Yeah.
Aran, I'm getting like 401 error when I try to like winlog beat setup.
401 error. I mean,
can you paste that error that you are getting? In which machine you are getting that error?
I'm getting in like PowerShell.
In PowerShell, okay.
Because I don't know how to copy from PowerShell. The control C is not working.
Control that clipboard you need to use. Anyway, I'm seeing that error for you. Could not connect any of the configured Elasticsearch source for the connector. Yeah,
I think there might be a problem with your Elasticsearch connection. Can you provide? I mean, Arvind, can you see his file?
I see his mistake. See, I am telling you, everyone. I think Haran, can you please kind of like click on the settings bar? Okay. This is the important thing. So you have one Kubernetes machine where Elasticsearch is running. That IP is the IP, and the other one is CentOS machine. And other one is CentOS machine, other one is Windows machine, right? You have to stream your data to Kubernetes machine. So Kubernetes machine IP is the IP that you need to use in all your
configurational file.
Yeah, so you are using wrong IP, Joshua. Just give the right IP. Okay.
Yeah.
So you are using wrong IP. I could see that actually you are using the wrong IP. Just use the right IP. That's it. Okay. 52. That one is not the right IP. Okay. Just give the right IP.
Perfect. Yeah. So how much time do we have, Arvind?
Yeah, we have time. I think like let us go. If everyone is ready and up and running, then we could do take another 15 minutes extra and like do stuff. Haran.
Sure.
Yeah. So folks, I guess you are seeing the details. I mean information in the Kibana. Please give +1 if so. So we could go ahead and talk about the next stuff again. Okay. Yeah, I guess still some more people to do that. Yeah, we'll wait for a minute or so. Just keep that.
Sure. Sure.
But please,
Sure. Sure.
But please, as soon as you are done, please put +1 in the chat. Okay. Yes, Harsh, I think next is running APT. But
Yeah. So Harsha, before running the APT 34, to see the detections, right? Like we have an inbuilt rule. Go to security detections. Click on manage detection rules, and then load all the pre-built rules. So if you see in my demo, I initially loaded my pre-built rules, right? So click on load Elastic pre-built rules and timeline. Click on that. It will load 500 plus rules for you. What I wanted to do is we wanted to enable this rule. So this will automatically trigger alerts for our malicious script. So we wanted to analyze the alerts, right? So that's why I wanted to leverage this pre-built rule. So search for this like script or PowerShell or Windows script executing, whatever it is. Search for this rule in the search bar and then enable it. Enable just that rule alone. That's enough. Or you can click on this rule and then activate here. You can do all sorts of things. You can understand what this rule is, what query it is taking, which index it is taking, how far it is scheduled and everything. What is the MITRE ATT&CK mapping, all sorts of things, right? You can understand about this rule. If you want, you can duplicate the rule, clone it, edit it. You can do everything in your production.
So basically, Haran, so this we are like looking into the PowerShell like scripts more of this detection is correct.
Right, like Elastic has various pre-built rules like network, host, PowerShells, AWS, GCP, all sorts of related detection rules. In this lab, we are going to look into one of the PowerShell related rules.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why I wanted to enable this particular rule. That's all.
Got it. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Uday, you missed adding SSL. That SSL stuff, right?
Right.
Take time, but add everything. So I'm gonna ping that again in the chat. So take time, carefully add one more stuff because we are missing some important details actually. Okay. SSL verification mode that needs
okay.
Kibana
Yeah, like in the screen, you need this.
Yeah.
You need to add this both in your output.elasticsearch
and setup
and in this one and in the setup.kibana. So I'll once again paste this in the Zoom chat.
I pasted her.
Okay, sure.
Joshua, where you are facing error, can you unmute yourself and tell what's wrong?
The same error, Aaron. Like I am giving the correct IP 52 only. It was showing in me the Strigo one. I'm still facing the error.
Okay, fine. Let me debug. But you are not getting the certificate error, right?
I'm getting the same error only. I have pasted the correct IP, but I'm still getting the same error.
Yeah, let me see that once.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, you are trying to do the setup again and it says that authenticate user. Let us try to run this one here.
So Arvind, meanwhile, let's continue with the next step. I think most of the people have.
Yeah, if just ask like if others are you ready? I mean, like, are you folks okay? Just give +1, then it's good.
Perfect. So Uday is getting, Harsha is getting, everybody's getting, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. So as I said before, once again, repeating, like you can go to security detections, click on manage detection rules and enable the load the pre-built rules. Once you load this pre-built rules, right? Go to detections, click on manage detection rules, load the pre-built rules. Once you load, you will have 500 plus elastic rules. Search for Windows script or PowerShell or whatever it is, and especially just enable this rule, which I'm putting it in the Zoom chat. After that, now let's go to the PowerShell. Come outside because our APT 34 script is inside the Elastic folder. So what we are going to do is we are just going to run apt34.ps1 script. That's all. Just run it. Oops, what's the wrong in that? Oh, I have run it before. Just give me a sec. I'll delete that. See, I think it will work for you because I already have that few hidden items. Remove this. Okay, I think now it should be okay. Yep, it's running now. And then you have all the steps in the document to start analyzing it. So as I showed in the demo, go to the host, uncommon processes, try to follow the document. You will find all these PowerShell.exe in the first page or second page, drag and drop inside the timeline and start investigating, right? So it's completely your playground to start investigating, create a timeline, investigation notes and everything. So this documentation step is just a guide, but your imagination and limitation, I mean, skies are the limit. You can play around those data. So meanwhile, let me put some music.
Yeah, it is very silent. So I hope that you're all learning something. we could add more stuffs, but like, you know, it will become difficult and also like dragging for the event. We don't want to like, you know, do stuff, and you need to do it by yourself as well. So that is the problem here. We can't just do that. So just try and let us know if you have any questions or like, you know, anything. So yeah.
Yeah, that drag drop is not working well.
Which one is not working well?
Drag drop. So like we selected the PowerShell.
Currently, you can stop the music. Okay.
Yeah, 1 minute. It got stuck actually. Just a minute. Sorry about that.
Like, no problem. So like I was trying to drag drop that PowerShell exe, going to like at bottom it shows green bar which says, and there I'm dropping it, and then it's like it's gone. So can you show it one more again that how you drag drop that?
Sure. We'll show that. Yeah. So now let's create a new timeline. So this is what you'll have it fresh. So where do we have PowerShell? Just refresh.
It's in the next page. So if you go to second
No,
page,
I just created new things, right? So that's why it's not an uncommon process for me, because I have been trying it for a longer time. So okay, so let's say, okay, I mean authentication. I have to go to uncommon process, go to page 2. Okay, PowerShell.exe, right? So just click and drag and drop. That's all. Just put it here.
And there is also that button is there.
Correct. That's what I was about to tell. So let's say, let's create new timeline, right? Apart from drag and drop, you can also leverage this. Just keep the mouse over this. You have various buttons like this, like filter in, filter out, and importantly, add to timeline investigation. So if you click on this, it will automatically go and add. I mean, in this version, while you add like that, it is little slow. So just wait for a few seconds. If you drag and drop, it will be immediately. Yeah.
Yeah, it is little slow because maybe our machine is also like,
Yeah, it's not that powerful machine, right?
Yeah, so a lot of this depends on the Kubernetes nodes as well. So if the Kubernetes nodes are some generation, so some of these you need to bring in the right type of hardware based on what you want to run on Kubernetes. General purpose applications, it's fine. But data applications, if you want to run, then you need to bring in N2s or in GCP, or then you need to bring in i3s in i3 series in AWS or Azure. I guess it is something else. I forgot. So those sort of series, and you need to do all of that. So it is not so. To be honest, it is not like so easy to run Kubernetes also.
I don't know. There seems like some issue with the UI. It's even after adding to that timeline investigation, it says edit PowerShell exe to timeline, and then nothing.
Click on the timeline. If you click on this, it will open a big pop-up screen.
Yeah, but the timeline is completely like empty screen.
Nikunj, if you are fine, you could share your screen as well. We are happy.
Yeah, sure. I can.
Okay, if you are okay, you can share your screen.
It says you cannot start the screen share while other participant. Okay.
Yeah, I just stopped it.
Sure, I can share. Is it visible now?
Yep.
Okay. So what I was doing is under host.
Okay. Go to uncommon process, right?
And here and this, right?
That, or try to drag and drop, because that is little slow in this particular version.
Okay. So
you have already you have various things added, so that's the problem.
I think it's because of this. Oh, I think it's because of that.
Yeah, click on new timeline, I think, right?
Correct. Click on new timeline.
New timeline.
Now close the timeline.
On the top right corner, top right.
X button. Yeah. Now drag and drop it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now click the time. No, not that one. Just see, you have 259 events. Yeah, click that.
Okay. Got it. Probably because of this, it was hiding that
Yeah, you could not
That
see that
symptom.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't see that it's happening. Okay, thanks.
Okay. Yeah.
This is also
Let me
some
stop share.
UI improvement we have to do probably. Yeah, this is a new tool for a lot of analysts as well. So many people are also amazed about how quickly it is finding stuff, but also like it's a new learning curve in traditional SIMs or traditional SecOps platforms, which are quite old. I have worked on some. You could not imagine it is not for cloud world. So it is very different. Not able to see any hosts in Elasticsearch. So hosts in Elasticsearch. I'm not understanding, Shashank, what do you mean? If you are looking for your lab environment, I can go and debug and find out what is wrong. Sure. So could you please unmute yourself or share if you have any questions, like we are happy to answer. Yeah, you can share the screen. If it is Kibana, you please share the screen.
Yeah, I'm sharing my screen. It's taking time. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, no problem. Today, winlog beats will not show under an security. So you just click, it automatically reads from winlog beats. So whatever the data that you have, you don't need to select anything. If you're not seeing any data in that place, I think that is a problem that needs to be solved. We'll see, we'll come to your screen as well. So we'll see that. Yeah, hosts, uncommon processes. Yeah, Shashank, I didn't understand what you're saying.
Oh, sorry, sir. That was me.
Okay, sorry. Shashank, please share.
Sorry. Yeah, I did not.
Okay, open system preferences.
Shashank, are you like?
Give me 1 second.
Will you be sharing the screen?
Okay. I'm doing it.
Meanwhile, while Shashank shares, I think we can help Uday to show the winlog bit what you have just shown. Uday, you could see what Haran is sharing.
Yeah. So what I mean is, so you could see that in the overview tab, as the name suggests, it's just the overview telling that what are the logs you are collecting, like from audit beat, winlog beat, what are the different modules available inside file beat, and all sorts of things. If you want to understand, like if you want to only for winlog beat, right? So let's say I'm investigating host, or even you can go to timeline, create a new timeline. Here, you can just tell that event.module is something like that. Event.module is just Sysmon, right? You are going to pull only the Sysmon related events, something like that, right? So you can search across the data. What I mean by security app is searching across all data is, if you click on this all data source, you could see it is searching across all your data and as well as detection alerts. You can customize it, right? So you can customize it, like you can only pull the events. I don't want to pull the alerts, or even inside the events, I can, if I have multiple data source, I will have multiple things, right? I can pull across multiple things, all sorts of things, right? So I can do everything. So this is what mean, like a security app will help you to pull data across all the data sets, and you have the ability to narrow down it. So let's say you want to see only the winlog beat, right? So here you have, like, this is coming from winlog beat index. So the agent.type is winlog beat. So just drag and drop inside the timeline. Oops, sorry about that. Yep. Just drag and drop inside the timeline. Now it's going to pull only your winlog beat related details. Hope that clarifies your question.
Haran, I think I'm not seeing any data when I come under security at all. So I think that's where the problem is. whereas I'm able to see the WinLog.
Sorry,
beats
your voice is not audible.
Haran is saying that he is not able to see any data in the WinLog beat when he comes under. Can you please share the screen, Uday? We'll see what is
just
wrong.
a second.
I guess Karthik also something is wrong in your setup. Probably it is WinLog beat is not running or something wrong. Probably just let us see.
How to ensure WinLog beat is running?
Just go to the services in the Windows and see if the service is running or not.
Okay.
In the Windows, you go to service and see if it is running. Yeah. Uday, you can you share? Is it possible?
Yeah, I'm just sharing. Sharing. So let me know once you're able to see my screen.
Yes.
So if I come under the analytics, I was able to see all the data, at least until a minute ago. So all this started coming through. Whereas if I go under security and hosts or timelines also, nothing, it's just blank.
Yeah, I have the same
Can you go
issue.
to host? Can you go to host? I don't know why you are not seeing any host. Can you change the time from today to last 24 hours or 15 minutes or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, fine. Just click apply. That's weird.
Okay, can we
like have you run that script?
Yeah, I've run the script as well.
And have you enabled that detection also?
So is the WinLog beat service running?
WinLog beat service was running, yes.
Can you go to the services and see once or restart it? Just restart it once. If it is running, even restart it. Windows is tricky.
No. Don't restart the machine. Like first of all, can you go up? Can you go up in the PowerShell? Let's see what all things.
Yeah, 1 second.
Okay. Setup. Okay, setup enabling is finished. Okay. Now let's go to services. I mean, click on the Windows icon in the bottom.
Click on the start bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then click on get on the services.
Search for services.
I think you can
It's a
search
little
directly.
slow.
Search in the service.
Okay.
Yeah, search bar services. Yes, click and search for WinLog beat. I mean, click on any of the name. Click on any of the name and quickly type WINL. Okay, go down, little go down.
Yeah.
You will find WinLog beat. Yeah. Click on WinLog beat.
Yeah.
You need to start the service. Yeah, the WinLog beat is not running.
Okay.
You need to just in the left side. Yeah. Okay, start. Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
So now you will start the data getting streamed in a couple of seconds.
Yeah, just click refresh on the timeline or even Kibana. Both works. I guess Karthik
just
also
started the
similar thing.
session.
Yeah, I think the similar issue was there. Same.
Okay.
Yeah. Need to restart it. So if that can help others.
Yeah, I mean,
log beat service.
Okay.
Yeah,
Go to
couple of seconds, I believe.
Couple of seconds. Go to discover. I mean, in the left. Yeah, go to discover. Let's see if the data is getting streamed in. Yeah, let's wait for a couple of minutes. I mean, couple of seconds.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think fresh
now you should it should get automatically configured in your security app.
Okay.
Yeah. Go to overview. Scroll down. I don't know why he's not having this WinLog beat data getting inside the security app. What's the issue?
Maybe in the data sources, something is not selected.
Is it like maybe in the YAML file? WinLog when
No,
we get
YAML file just tells you which Elasticsearch to collect, nothing to do with your security app. Security app is
Okay.
something inbuilt inside the Kibana only. So this is little weird. So sorry about this, Harsha. I need to check on this. Like I'm seeing this for first time. Yeah.
Haran, I will help Harsha. Meanwhile, you continue doing stuff.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, I got all the data. I was trying to help other guy, like Shashank, is it?
Okay.
Oh, sorry, Shashank. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah.
No, even I don't have this available now. Shashank here. I think myself and Uday, we both have the issue, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay, there is some step missing or something is wrong. I'll just debug the Uday's machine not once, and then we'll come back to you actually. Uday's machine, I'm going to look at your Kibana and stuff. Meanwhile, Haran, you can go ahead and do stuff like, yeah.
Sure, I'll stop sharing then.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, like we are pretty much at the end of the things. I think we are running over time. So the next thing is like creating your security rules. So just to give you a more feature things, what I added is I added a lab where you could create your own rule. So everything is self-explanatory. I mean, everything is documented. So go to this detection engine, manage detection rules, create new rule, and then follow these steps. So you could create a rule. Other things are optional settings. You can leave it or you can edit it. And then once you create this rule, go to this Windows VM, open PowerShell and run these commands, right? What we did is first, we created a rule for whenever an event log inside my machine is cleared, trigger me an alert, right? That's what my rule is. It's a very simple rule. So to detonate that, we are just going to use this process, WEVT util process, to clear the application log, system log, and security log. This should trigger an alert, and we should see it in the detection rules. I mean, we should see it in the detection alerts, and this alert details will be here, and then we can analyze it. All right. So let's proceed with those steps. Yeah, please start doing that.
So meanwhile, I'm looking at your thing, Uday. So just give me a moment. I'm already logged in into your machine. I'm seeing what's coming, what's not coming. Okay, just give me some time. Yeah, there are data. Data is coming from your WinLog beat. Yeah, good amount of data is coming. Great. Let's see. Okay, I see some data in Uday's machine now. Uday, can you check now? Refresh it once. I didn't do anything, by the way. It is just working. And you need to add your detections and all that. To manage detection rules, and you need to add that.
Yeah, maybe it's just
taking time.
That's all. Maybe the Kubernetes machine is very low memory, right, for this lab, so it's taking a little time.
We are running everything there, so let us see. I mean, should be fine. I have given, I think, maybe 1 gig or something, but let us see for Kibana, but should be fine. I guess you will be able to see once you load detections and all. You should be able to see. I'm heading over to Shashank, you have the same problem, right? Okay, he's saying he'll join back in a minute.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, okay. Then you have the same problem, right? You're not able to see anything.
Yep.
Okay. Looking at your thing now, you don't see any data in your.
I can see the hosts, but data.
Yeah. See, I think you need data in the sense like in the overview page. I guess one thing you are getting wrong is if you don't enable any alerts, the signals won't be looking up. You will not see signals, kind of thing. Okay. So in the, okay, let me do echo. Oh, my password is not coming.
I did not put it as a variable. You can directly take it from the kubectl command.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'm not surprised. So I think you need to load your detection rules. Then only the screen would look like loaded. Otherwise, you need to check in the host and come down whether Windows Winlog Beat is sharing data. You will see some events. You should see some events. But let me get back.
Arvind, under hosts, I'm seeing just a dash. There are no hosts itself showing. Is at least that should begin showing, right? Before I can start seeing the events.
Okay, let me also see your stuff.
Under security.
Just give me a moment.
Sure.
That hosts for. So I can share my screen meanwhile. Okay, let me share my screen. Haran, can you stop sharing your screen? Yeah, great. So this is Shashank's Kibana. Kibana, I think yours is your Kibana. And then if you see here, we saw some events here at some point in time, but later nothing. But I see some Winlog Beat data. Okay. I also see one host here. Let us always put it like last 15 minutes so that you will see what is happening. Okay. And click on the host and you will see details. Okay. So something is wrong where it is saying you should also see what do you call, I could see your Windows machine wherein the services should be running. That Winlog Beat. Yeah, it's running. So you should see some more data. I don't know why it's not coming, but you should see some data. I think something should be done. So I believe that for Shashank, I think your data is coming. We'll also see, cannot dashboard, discover. Last 15 minutes I selected so that if data comes, we'll see. Okay. Yeah, it is coming. Last 15 minutes. If you see, the data is coming. So the reason why you might be seeing, what do you call, like nothing showing here kind of a thing is because maybe it might be the reason that you didn't enable the detections. You need to click on manage detection rules and like you don't do all of that. That might help you. Or if you enable the detections, maybe something will show up. Uncommon processes. Yeah. Just see. This is there, right? Whatever Haran was telling. This is coming.
Yep. It's there. I think it's just taking time. I don't know. It's just due to the machine size or anything. It's just taking time. That's all. But nothing to configure from our end. It's just taking time. That's all.
No, it is there. I think just go to host. Some people host is showing 0. I'm not sure if you are selecting last 15 minutes. Make sure you do last 15 minutes or 1 hour, and then see your data and stuff. It should work, I think, right? In Uday's host, I'm just seeing Uday, your host. See last 15 minutes again, I'm seeing this data. Okay.
Okay. Okay. I don't know why on my end, I don't know if I should reload the browser itself because I'm not able to see any of this. It's just blank.
No, just see this one. This is a changer. Like, last 15 minutes, pause, and then see why it is not coming.
Yeah, maybe
I've just done
try
that.
to refresh or reload the browser.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm doing from your own lab actually. I'm
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Thanks.
Great. Haran, we can go ahead, I guess.
Yeah, we are in the final step. Like what I did is, like as I explained, create this rule. It should be very straightforward. I just created this rule, and then to detonate that rule basically what it does is it triggers alert when an event log is cleared in the Windows machine. So this happens many cases, right? Like there are some malwares that will try to do some defense evasion, right? They try to delete their footprints. So they try to clear their event logs, application logs, or installation logs, or something like that. So in that case, it is good to have those alerts. So just for the sake of this lab, you can manually delete this application system and security events using this command in the PowerShell. After creating the rule, if you do this, it will trigger an related query, related event. And as per the rule will run by default every 5 minutes, right? So once this rule runs every 5 minutes, you are going to get an alert. So this is how the alert looks like. So once the alert get triggered, you will have this, right? Inside your detections page, you will have like, there is one rule that got triggered. So you will see all these details. So if you click on this view details, you will have all the related details about this particular alert. What is this alert detail, severity, risk score, which host, which user, and everything. If it is a threat intel related alert, you will have all the threat intel related informations. And then you'll have all the details about the SIM rule, like host. What is the SIM? I mean, signals means we call alert like signals. So what is the signal origin? What is the signal parent process, or whatever it is, right? So you have all these details here. To investigate further, you can investigate this in timeline. So you can click on this investigate in timeline, or what you can do is you can just drag and drop inside the timeline and can do all sorts of things. So let's click this investigate in timeline. So it automatically takes my rule ID and gives me the related alert. So I can start investigating, or if I want, I can put it in progress, close the alert, or importantly, even directly from this alert, I can attach it to a case or existing case, right? So I can have all the security operations workflow. Like I found something related to my existing case, which I'm investigating. So I can add it to my existing case. I can do all sorts of things. Yeah, it automatically gets added. So if I want, I can add some investigation notes to my alert, everything. Yeah. So this is how you will be creating your alert, investigating your alert, and everything. So I think that gave you a better idea, and hope you learned new stuffs today. Hope the session was useful. Let us know your thoughts, and happy to connect with you all in another session with Elastic and with Kubernetes and other things. So thank you so much. Over to you, Arvind.
Yeah. So, so for example, the lab will be there for the entire day, and I'm happy to help. So this environment will be there, and then the lab. I mean, you could also try the audit beat in CentOS step and try to get the data as well. So that will also follow, and actually that might be a bit easier for you to do stuff, but because we want to show you some live signals, etc., so we are here. Yeah, so that is the only thing. If you have any questions or anything, please ask. Right now, I mean, we are good to tell, because I think we took half an hour more than what you were telling. Yeah. So to join the community, we do regularly security related stuff. More things on this area, not just this thing. There is EQL, there is other stuff actually. So you could, and we also do it on the YouTube channel. Live streams are happening all the time. So we are a global team. So this is the community YouTube channel, not the corporate one. So we do more stuff like this. So you could go and learn about it. Take only specific investigation, or take only specific about Kubernetes and how is security take only container security and go deep into it. So something like that will also be there. So please subscribe the YouTube channel so that you get events. Community.elastic.go for meetups, and then like join the chapter that you are interested in. So like, you could join Bengaluru or like Delhi or wherever the area that you are. Or if you want to ask questions and further, like ela.st/Slack, there are already 8,000 plus people in the Slack group, and people talk to us all the time. So yeah, please do that. So Haran, if you could go to the next slide once, or okay, no, go back. Still go back. Yeah, so we learned creating just we learned creating Kubernetes cluster. We explored the security app thing. We looked at the query languages, the indicator rule, etc. Just taken a look at it. We saw alerting and ingesting security data. Of course, we couldn't do audit beat. I think there were some problems, and we were not able to do that. And we simulated a simple detonation in the winlog beat. But where you could go next, or what steps next you could do by redoing this operation, I'll tell you. Haran, if you could move to the next slide. Yeah, so you could definitely go and look at the Elastic agent and fleet server. So now we are doing beats, this and all. There is one agent that we are building. We have already built, I should say. So, and then that agent beat you could deploy using automation or anything. Actually, it is automation also. So you could deploy endline by UI. You could configure what data to be collected. Not needed to configure this Kibana, Elasticsearch setup, anything. There is API key, and you don't need to do all of this. From UI, you will tell that what integrations need to be enabled. Like, I want to collect data from AWS. I want to collect data from Azure. I want to collect data from logs from Sysmon or whatever, like, Zeek or Bro, Sericata, or a lot of the security modules. And then it will simply collect. And then it also provides endpoint protection. There's Elastic also already has this, but then like anti-malware protection. And then additional AppSec rules. If you have APM configured, like code tracing configured in your applications, you could bring in that to the Elasticsearch SIEM, and that can be done. And more importantly, EQL, like very popular, not just in Elastic World. There are many other security companies which are very much interested in EQL. Then you have Kibana Lens, which Haran has showed in the walkthrough. Like, you could drag and drop stuff and like look at that is one other thing. Then obviously TSVB, time series visual builder, through which you could build aggregations and data on your stuff to see things are happening. So yeah, these are the things, pointers for me. If I am a workshop attendee, I would learn from here that environment is available, things are available. And then if you have more questions, we are also available to ask. Like, I'll paste the LinkedIn URLs of mine, link Twitter and LinkedIn URLs of mine. You can DM us. I'll also give my email ID so that you could write to us. And then LinkedIn of Haran. Haran, please correct me if I'm wrong. Haran Kumar, right? Or you type your LinkedIn. You type your LinkedIn, Haran. That's better.
Yeah, that's it. That's Haran Kumar. That's all.
Yeah, Haran Kumar. I think you will find, because there are very less Harans in the world. So this is my LinkedIn. So you could DM, you could connect with us, and we are happy to connect with you. I think we are already connected with some people. Yeah, that's it from our side. And if you have any questions, we are happy to take. Great. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Shashi. Thank you, Shashi. Any other information? Any other thing that you want? Like, do that. So I'll do that. Thank you so much. So that's it. I think you could leave the workshop. We will not end the meeting, because if I end the meeting, you could leave the room. Like we have other workshops as well, so I can't end the meeting. So you could leave the room, just like any other thing. We look forward to do Kubernetes community days again next year, probably in person. So yeah, please join this year's one. It's kcdblr.com. Yeah, kcdblr.com. So please join this year's kubernetescommunity.com, and yeah, keep in touch with us. Thank you. Thank you, Haran, as well. Haran is joining from Singapore, so he's 2.5 hours ahead of us. And then he joined at his lunch time. And then I guess it's a bit delayed now. Cool, Haran. You can also leave, Haran.
Sure, no
like,
problem.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. I'll just quick. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, team. It was great to connect with you all. So looking forward for meeting you all in person next time, and also in the, if possible, virtual in another conferences. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. See you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Harsha. Yeah, Uday, like I'm happy if you could join the organizing team and like help us run with stuff. We will do biannual. it takes a
Sure,
village to
Arvind.
do that.
I've helped out with other open source things like OpenStack. So glad to be of help. No problem.
Yeah. Definitely. Like we would do a wide net reach out next time. This happened in a bit of hurry, and then second wave came in, and we couldn't promote a lot. But otherwise, that's what's the plan. Cool.
Right. And if you can tell what is the process for the CFPs, next time I could try to give a presentation.
CFP we announced, like it is on kcd.smapply.io. That is the site we opened, and then I think you need to be part of the CNCF newsletters and everything. We shared, but it is still not enough. There are a lot of people, but conferences like KubeCons get a lot of people. So
right, exactly.
Yeah, so we didn't do that. KCD is again limited to Bengaluru only, but because it's common time zone across, we are just putting it out across India. Yes, for now.
Right. Great. Thanks a lot, Arvind.
Cool.
We'll catch you.
I guess
Thanks for
I'll
the questions as well.
Yeah, sure. I'll leave the room as well. So if you have any questions, you have our details. Environment will be there. Thanks for joining this morning. Have a nice day.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.